Hi, my name is Chloe from the Economics Tutoring Department at ASU, and today we're going to be covering utility theory. Before we continue, always check with your professor notation because it varies from class to class. Okay, so now we're going to start our review of utility theory. This is what we're given for this example. We're given quantities and total utility for goods A and B. Here are goods A and B. So to find marginal utility, first we have to understand that marginal utility represents the extra satisfaction that a person gets from a unit change. So in this case, it's a 1 unit increase. The equation for marginal utility is the change in total utility over the change in quantity. So let's calculate the marginal utility for A. I'm going to redraw a graph so we can find A and do the math with a little bit more room. So I'm quickly going to redraw the chart below so we have more room to do the math. So to start, out of a quantity of 0, total utility is 0. So marginal utility is going to be nothing because it just doesn't apply at 0. At a quantity of 1, total utility is 10. So applying the formula, the change in total utility would be 10, because 10 minus 0, divided by the change in quantity, which is 1, because 1 minus 0. So the marginal utility is 10. At a quantity of 2, our total utility is 16. So our marginal utility is 16 minus 10 divided by 2 minus 1. So 6 minus 1, 6. At a quantity of 3, our total utility is 20. So we do 20 minus 16, 3 minus 2. So our marginal utility is 4. So I'm going to quickly draw these in. Now let's do this for B. We'll do the same thing. So at a quantity of 0, again, total utility is 0, so there is no marginal utility. At a quantity of 1, we have 12, total utility. So using the equation, we have 12 minus 0 divided by 1 minus 0, so just 12 over 1, which is 12. At a quantity of 2 for B, we have a total utility of 18. So we do 18 minus 12 divided by 2 minus 1. So we get 6 divided by 1, which is 6. The last one, a quantity of 3, we have 20. So 20 minus 18 divided by 3 minus 2, 1 with 2, so 2. And again, we'll fill this in. So now that we found our marginal utilities, we're now going to move on to find marginal utility over price. So although we found marginal utility, we only know the extra satisfaction a person's going to get by increasing 1 unit. As of now, at unit 1, it would appear that a person would want unit B at 12 utilities over 10, but because we don't know the price, we can't make this assumption. For example, if B was $100 and A was $1, it wouldn't make sense that they would want a utility of 12 for the cost of $100. So let's move on to find the marginal utility over price. So to find this, we're going to use the same formula, mu, but now divide it by the price. And here the prices are given. So now we're going to do the math below. So we have our marginal utility, which we calculated in the last example, or last slide, and we're calculating the mu over p, and our price, which is $2. So we'll do good A first. So all we're going to do is take our marginal utilities and divide it by the price. So again, for a quantity of 0, we're not going to have a marginal utility over price because it's 0. 10 divided by 2, 5, 6 divided by 2, 3, and then 4 divided by 2, 2. So now we can fill in this column. Now let's do it for B. For B, the price is 1. So the price of B equals 1. So again, let's do the math. We have our chart. So this one's even easier because we're just going to be dividing by 1. For our quantity of 0, again, it's just an x. 12 divided by 1 is 12, 6, and 2. So we can now fill this in. And now we have our complete chart, so now we can move on to examining the consumer choices. So now we're going to answer the question, what will this person buy with an income of $9? So to answer this question, we really just need to look at the mu divided by the p columns. So to remind, mu divided by p represents the extra satisfaction a person gets per what the cost is to gain that. So now that we have our mu over p for both goods A and B, we can compare them to examine what choices a person will make. So first, what is the very first unit that a person is going to buy? We can examine this by looking at quantity 1. At quantity 1, they can either get an mu divided by p of 12 or 5. 12 is the higher number, so they're going to buy B first at the price of $1. So they have $8 left to spend. So what will they buy second? Now that they have already bought the first bundle of product B, they have left the second bundle of B and still the first bundle of A. So now we're comparing 5 and 6. 6 is higher than 5, so again the person is going to buy bundle B for the price of $1. So let's move on to the third. For the third, we're comparing 2 and 5. 5 is larger than 2, so they're going to buy a unit of A for the price of $2. So now they only have $4 left of their income to spend. Actually, no, $5. So let's move on to the fourth. We can either, at the quantity of 2, A will give us 3 satisfaction utilities, or B, at a quantity of 3, will give us 2. So again, the 3 is higher. So the person's going to choose bundle A at a price of $2. So let's move on to the fifth. Here is an interesting dilemma because they get the same utility at the quantity of 3. Each represents 2 and 2. And because our income is 9 and we can afford to buy both bundles, the 5th and the 6th, A and B, will be completely indifferent. The consumer is not going to have a preference between these two bundles. So we can see with $9, they buy 3 Bs and 3 As. Now let's move on to our final question. Is this person in consumer equilibrium? In consumer equilibrium, all income is spent such that the marginal utility of price of A is equal to the marginal utility over price of B. So because we ended with 2 utility over price of A and 2 utility over price of B, and the entire $9 income was spent, this person is in consumer equilibrium. Video helpful. If you have any further questions, please visit your professor or visit us at the tutoring center.